Hey, what is up, jabronis? Real quick at the top of the episode, I just wanted to extend a quick invitation to a Dynasty Fantasy Football League that I'm trying to organize in the next few months, and I need more people. And I don't want to just ask random people on the internet. I guess you are all random people on the internet, but I would rather not go to a message board, I guess. So if that's something that you'd be interested in, it is a dynasty format, so it's a multi-year commitment at the least. And if you are not a complete asshole, contact me maybe through the Instagram or through Chris on Discord is Totro's Bang Bus. I don't really use that often, so that'd be a good source to get in touch with me. But yeah, I'm looking for people. So yeah, thank you very much.
I'm here with Tyler as we explore the home scene for one Levi Strauss.
Stafford. Agent Strauss.
Okay.
Can't give away the joke, man.
I can.
Yeah, I guess so. Anyways, hello.
Hello. So last time we left Agent Strauss, he also had himself a little breakdown.
Yes.
If you listen to Jake's episode, Jim Duffy, he had got himself a disorder, and unfortunately, so did Agent Strauss.
Yes.
So what are you thinking for? Since again, you got this from a natural. The suggested ones are amnesia, depersonalization disorder, depression, dissociative identity disorder, fugues, megalomania, paranoia, and sleep disorder. So those are just off. If you want to come up with something else, feel free.
I was kind of looking at coming with something else, but I think what makes the most sense is amnesia.
Okay.
Especially because I don't know if you went over it with Jake, but there's a lot of things in here in the book with when you get a disorder, you can suffer an acute episode. I really like the acute episode with amnesia. Losing 2+ sanity in any single roll triggers amnesia. You just don't remember that.
Yeah.
So he's just going to start having holes in his memory.
I love it.
So
yeah, I think Jake and I, when we did the acute, I think it's only really going to matter like in the dark. I kind of was planning on playing up that aspect of it. So I guess if we're going to go with amnesia, which I think is a perfect choice for what Strauss experienced, he doesn't want to remember it. Where do you think Strauss remembers up to, and what else is completely gone?
So the way I was kind of thinking about it, so I was looking back over my notes, and for the most part, so what we did, we kidnapped an old man.
You kidnapped an old man.
Brought him into the house, and then started this ritual.
Then you murdered him.
Yes. I'm thinking that, like, that point, like entering the house and getting things ready, is where it starts to go fuzzy.
Okay.
And then, like, maybe this works better because Tyler actually doesn't remember. I don't remember which one of us actually did the killing, but I'm thinking, like, that is where there's nothing.
Okay.
And then it's when the ritual completes and we get back, I get back my sanity, that's where he comes back.
Okay.
So for him, it's like I want him to make sure that Strauss knew the plan, participated in the plan, but the actual execution is basically gone.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. I love that idea. And yeah, so I think we see kind of Strauss. Do you think he thinks about that moment a lot now that he's gotten back to his normal job? He's gone back to Eastern Washington. He's running his.
I think, in the week or so, a couple weeks after, immediately after, it is a little more on his mind, kind of obsessing over it. But if we're talking longer than that or months down the line, then it sort of just blurs with this military past.
Okay, because
it's another horrible thing that happened to him.
Right, and I forgot to ask Jake that about Jim Duffy, but you guys have done a couple missions now. We established you guys are an established group before Agnes joined. So I was wondering, how long do you think your character would dwell on things before he pushes it off? Like a week or two, like you said? Or like, we haven't really set the background for what like missions they did before, so we don't know how much like what other fucked up shit they've seen. But
well, I think this kind of goes into what I wanted to pick as the home scene for him.
Okay,
because I think it's something that's on his mind until he goes and does what I wanted to do, and that's when it blurs into the rest of his life. Like it's right there at the top of his mind until it's pushed down with everything else.
Okay, so yeah, I think that might be where we kind of cut to. In the meantime, do you think he goes and visits his old comrade like once and spews it out, or do you think he goes multiple times when he remembers certain things and then goes and talks with him as it as it presents itself again?
Kind of what I'm thinking is it's like he goes there regular basis. It's at least twice a month, if not more.
Right.
As far as how much he spits out at once, I mean, probably like a lot of it comes out at once.
Okay.
And then, maybe more will trickle the next time he visits. But then it's like a lot of it just spews out.
Gotcha. And so, yeah, so let's get into it then. So what are you explicitly doing for your home scene?
This is what I wanted to kind of pick your brain on.
Okay.
Because essentially what I'm thinking of as this home scene is because I don't know what exactly you're going to do with this part, but we talked about his friend, the last member of his squad, his character is essentially catatonic.
Yes.
Maybe not his brain, who knows? I don't know.
We don't,
Yeah, but I think Strauss treats him like a therapist.
Okay.
Talks at him. So I like the go to therapy one.
Okay.
Especially because what it does, it automatically reduces a bond by 1.
I think that.
Yeah, he's the only bond. So he treats him as a therapist, reduces the bond, and who knows what's going on in the dude's head.
Right. No, I think that I think that works. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, not to spoil it before it happens.
No, I love it. So, okay. I think we see Strauss pull up to this long-term care facility. I don't necessarily think it's like I don't want to say it's like a mental institution or anything like that.
No.
Mainly because Washington doesn't have a whole ton of those to begin with. I think we have Evergreen and like another one. So I think it's like a long-term care facility.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like a hospice, but...
well, yeah, I mean, and I was even looking through the consequences of sanity loss. Having 0 sanity, one of the things is just catatonia.
Yeah.
Like, they don't eat without being prompted. It just needs somebody there to put food in his mouth.
And so I think we see you arrive at this facility. Let's say it's called like Greener Pastures or something like that. I'm trying to think of a sanitized name for something like that. But
I mean, Greener Pastures isn't too bad. Or maybe it's Green Pastures.
Yeah, that works. And so I think we see you arrive. Do you think, does Strauss like sweet talk the front desk people or anything like that? Like maybe he always brings them like a donut, or he knows he goes on Wednesdays and that's when Shelly's working and he knows that she likes like a Frappuccino, so he brings her one. Or
that is actually not a bad idea. I didn't think about that, but he does visit regularly enough that I would think that
he would know who's working and when they're not.
He would at least have an idea.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think it goes so far as like a personalized thing.
Okay.
But he's definitely brought like
donuts or
I was gonna say like donuts for the staff, and it'll be like maybe he's got like 2 boxes. He's got like a little 6-pack of donuts for like the front desk staff. Like he comes in, signs his name, and just whoever's at the desk. Let's say it's Shelly. He's like, "Oh, I'm good. Nice to see you, Shelly. Just here to visit Nick. Here. This is for you guys." I kind of like awkwardly hands him hands him a little 6-pack of they're all glazed donuts.
There you go. She's like, "Oh, you're so sweet. It's always great to see you when you're here." Well, Dick, we got him, he's in his room right now. We haven't taken him out yet for any sort of a walk or anything. I don't know if you want to take it for a walk around the premises or...
Yeah, I can walk him around. Don't worry. I'll handle that.
Okay. And she's just like, all right. And she has you stick your hand out. They put a little bracelet on you, has like a number on it so they can track.
Perfect.
Like they probably scan it when you enter and then they'll scan it when you leave just to be safe. So they can keep track of who's on premises.
He's done this a million times.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's no big deal.
Yeah.
Takes the other 6-pack of donuts, and this is going to be for like, I imagine he's up on like a second floor, maybe. I kind
of think, I Are there multi-level assisted living places?
There are, and because I've always seen like the big elevators you can like stick a wheelchair into and stuff.
Sure, yeah. Then
That's kind of.
I would say you probably check in on the first floor, and then you maybe go up to the second.
You can go up.
Yeah, I think maybe when you on the way to the elevator, there's like a staff lobby, and you can pop in there and leave them there.
Yeah,
there's probably two other people who are just like Strauss or Levi. How's it going? Because they don't know your name's Strauss.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going, guys? Good to see you. And just dropping these off, visiting Nick.
So I'm just like, oh, thanks, man. Haven't had lunch yet, and go over. You see him start pulling out napkins.
I don't have too many.
And we see you get on the elevator. You hit the second button. Or does he take the stairs? What do you think he does?
I think he would take the stairs.
Yeah, it seems
like
like
the top of the stairs. You know, there's always going to be like a little locked, or not locked, like kind of bolted railing so nobody can fall down.
Yeah. I can see that each level you have to like have the little swinging door latch.
Yep. Just in case.
No, it totally makes sense. So you get to Nick's room. We'll say his room number is 207. I guess that makes. I'm assuming.
Yeah. I mean, it's like way hotels do.
Right.
Second floor. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you knock on the door. Do you just enter? What do you? How do you think his routine with Nick is? Not like Nick's going to answer. But.
Yeah, exactly. Like they said, they got him up but not out of his room.
Yeah.
I imagine it's kind of like doors open.
Okay, that would make sense.
And they've got him seated in a chair by the window.
Okay,
and it's just a big ass chair sitting by the window, and he's just same place you usually always find him, either in bed or in the chair.
And so I think you enter into this room. There's kind of a bed. Probably has some sort of a gurney, I'm thinking, next to it to help lift him into it and out. I don't know how thin of a man he is, but I'm assuming he's probably pretty thin since he...
Yeah, at this point it's been a couple years.
Yeah.
So.
Everything here is probably like a beige or off-white color. There's probably a painting on the wall that's bolted in that you can't move. It's got like a forest painting or like a meadow with a fence.
Yeah.
There's probably a TV.
I feel like I've been there.
Yeah. I could see there's like a TV on one wall, kind of like you have in a hotel setup, and then there's like a dresser underneath it. And so you walk in, and he's just he's seated in a wheelchair at the window. He doesn't recognize or even acknowledge you as you kind of knock on the door or walk in. And I'm trying to think what he would look like. I'm thinking he's probably pretty gaunt, thin. They keep his hair probably cut pretty short because that's how. And being an ex-military guy, I think most of them. Yeah, but he doesn't really say anything.
It's cleanliness stuff too. So.
Exactly.
Somebody's shaved him recently.
Right. Exactly. So he's clean shaven. His hair is cut pretty short. He's in a hospital onesie that's got like little floral prints over it, or maybe I don't know if they're going to put him in pants, but.
Probably not.
I don't know enough about this stuff. I'm going to be lying because I've never really been to one of these things. But
I imagine that he's wearing a hospital onesie. But
he's either got scrubs on or he's got like the gown. It doesn't matter a whole lot. But you see him there. There's another chair across from him, and you go sit down next to it.
If there's a chair across from him, I go sit down across from him for a second.
Do you like move his chair to look at you, or do you just let him continue staring out into the nothingness?
I think at this point, and this is so we're in 2017.
Yeah, this can take place anywhere between 2017 and 2019.
Well, I'm thinking if this would be pretty recently after the last mission. And so that was in October.
Yeah.
So
maybe if this is maybe the beginning of 2018, I don't know if you'd wait 2 months, but maybe we could say maybe it's around Christmas time. It's early December.
I'm thinking early December. Okay. At the latest, if not like late November. Well, I think he would have already had his Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So he sits down.
He could have come for Thanksgiving, visit him, and then this is him coming back.
Yeah.
He's already established he visits him, but this is the one where he's going to unload.
Yeah. So he kind of sits down across from him and says, well, Nick, I hear they're treating you well in here. Yeah, they got you up. Sorry, a little late. I was going to help, but they're going to let me push you around, go on a walk today. And kind of like looks around awkwardly. It's like, it is getting a little cold. Well, here you go. And he gets him, like, takes his jacket off and then moves over and, like, lifts him, forward out of the chair, puts the jacket on him because he knows it's Eastern Washington. Yeah. Early December. It's might be a little warm, but it's probably pretty chilly right there.
Yeah. It's going to get windy.
It's good. I mean, it's not quite late January, February yet, so it's not horrible. But it's still getting there. But it doesn't really take a long time before he just kind of sits in silence. He's like, all right, let's get you up and around, moving around here. And I imagine they would probably have a wheelchair in the room somewhere.
Yeah, I would think so. If he's not seated in a wheelchair, there's probably a collapsible one that's in the corner.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
That you can pull out.
And he's done this before.
Right. If anything, they would have given you one when you got there. Like, there's probably one that they would like, oh, if you could have said, like, hey, I want to take him for a walk, if that's okay, and they'd give you one. So
yeah.
We can assume there is one around.
Yeah. And I mean, like, he's no stranger to putting the wheelchair in front of him, figuring out how to, like, move him into there easily. Like, no problem getting him in there. And then kind of wheels him out of the room, kind of goes out. Imagine, let's say takes a left, got to go down the hallway to the bigger...
The big freight elevator.
Freight elevator, basically. Yeah. And I mean, I imagine he would have recognized some of the other patients there, even if they're...
Probably.
Even if they don't acknowledge them, it's people he's seen before.
And I think, there's probably a mixture of long-term... There's probably some elderly folks there mixed in here with people who just aren't able to... Who aren't in control of their faculties and whatnot,
yeah.
So...
Just an extended assisted care facility.
Yeah. And you might walk by and just, hey, Bob, hey.
It's like,
Gertrude,
hey, yo, Jimbo, what's going on?
Yeah. And so
once you get better, I'll get the shooting range for you. Come on.
And so we see you kind of take the elevator down to the bottom, first floor. You push him out through I'm assuming they probably have the back as like a gated grounds, like a kind of a bigger acreage.
I imagine so, like a big, not... pasture isn't the right word,
right.
but grassy area with walking paths.
Exactly. And so you start, there's probably a couple other folks out there now walking around, getting their daily walks in, and we see you start to push him down this path. And so do you tell him while you're out there?
Yeah, it's like he wouldn't say anything in the facility and in the room, just in case. I mean, who knows?
Right.
Who knows who's listening? But once he starts walking around, once he's out in the pathway, realizes, nobody's within 100 feet or so. And as he's just walking, he just kind of says half to himself and half to Nick, just I've been thinking about it, and I guess it happened again. I missed time again. Just like the cave. I don't know what happened. That, and I didn't tell you this part about it, but, more, what do they call it? Acceptable collateral damage. Another friendly. And then he tells him, would kind of tell him about a meal. Mm-hmm. The total weirdo.
Hey now.
Yeah, well, no, come on, he's a total weirdo. It seemed like a nice enough guy, but, you might have seen it when I was here a couple weeks ago. That little bandage I had on, he gave me that literally X right in the back.
Yeah, you probably have stitches still in.
Yeah,
about a month. They're probably starting to fall out now.
Yeah, and I was thinking about this, like the way it was described was like directly in the back, but like the number damage I took is more probably like a pretty deep scrape.
Yeah,
but he's kind of still a little sore, but healing back up.
So he's probably working out, trying to get the muscles back.
Yeah. Might be why it's, been a while.
Yeah.
So, talks to him a little bit about a meal. Tell him, we had to, I wasn't there for it, but I know what happened. Mm. It's nothing we're two strangers to, like, kind of pats him on the back as we're walking. It's like, and then, it's the same thing. I know something happened, but I don't know what happened. We were another acceptable collateral damage. Found a drifter. Well, it wasn't quite a drifter.
It was just like a town drunk.
Yeah, no, nobody will be missed. They were going to use him, and then that's what we're going to do. And then it was done, and I don't know what happened. Kind of like, he would elaborate a little, like he needed to be a sacrifice.
Do you tell him about everything that you guys saw within the house and all like the shit that happened?
I think he
would, the body in the tub and all of that.
I think he maybe would have mentioned some of that already, like before. But he would have gone over that in previous visits. Like that would have been like the lead up to it,
as it's all coming back to him.
Yeah, like I just saw this weird shit, heard voices, saw was a body in a tub, and an imprint, a silhouette on the couch. Like, I can't explain any of it. But yeah, that's stuff that he would have, like, mentioned before, but bringing up that, like, had to kill a guy, had to purposely murder an innocent person, and then burn the house down. That is, like, now.
Yeah.
Now that he's kind of, like, recovered, he spent weeks trying to really, like, remember what the hell happened and can't. He's kind of come to terms with, well, one more weird shit. But then he also would bring up, talking about a meal. It's like, for a second I thought a meal was going to end up like you were. It was a little bit, he was saying the craziest shit. He had a weapon in his hand, except instead of stopping, he just came at me. But, yeah. Acceptable losses, am I right, buddy? Just pats his shoulder again and keeps walking.
All right, so I think, let's... All right, so you're going to make a luck roll here.
Yeah, I was going to say, what is it? So, therapy, it's... If the luck roll fails, I gain no sanity. Oh, God.
Yeah.
So if they succeed... All right, let's... what's success? Is it 51 or over, or 50 or under?
50 or under.
50 or under. Come on, 12. 5.
Nice.
Wait, no. Sorry, 50 exactly. Here you go. I'm reading them backwards.
Oh, I trust you. Cool.
It's a 5-0 and a 0.
There you go.
Thank God.
All right, so you regain 1d6 sanity.
Is it 1d6?
Yeah.
Ooh.
So
it says 1d4, but I'll take 1d6.
I'm looking at the book here to go to therapy. So
really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where am I?
You must be looking at Back to Nature.
Oh, no, there it is. Hold on. Oh, I was reading it. If they don't tell the therapist the truth.
Well, you did. Yeah, you
yeah, I got to wait till we're out, and maybe it wasn't all at once.
Yeah.
But, all right, let's see here. 2.
Okay.
I'll take 2 sanity back.
So
2 san. All right, that puts me to 53.
All right, so go into therapy reduces a bond by 1 as you let it lapse. But I like the idea that it reduces this bond with this guy.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was thinking. Like, we did talk about it before that, like, maybe this dude is not actually totally catatonic,
right,
in his brain. But
I
have no way to know.
He just isn't talking right now.
Yeah. Put that bond down to 9.
So I think we see that happen. And you kind of push him around and get him back in there. Maybe you have lunch with him there or something like that. Yeah, you feed him his lunch or something like
maybe,
that.
Yeah, maybe I brought a sandwich too or something, but they've got, mush or whatever they got to feed them.
Yeah, whatever they do.
Soft foods that you can make a catatonic person eat.
And I think we see you get him back up to his room and you kind of do your like, well, I'll be here, next week or whatever, buddy. And we see the lingering shot of you with your hand on his shoulder and you give him like a squeeze and then you walk out. And I think our last image with him is we cut to him and we just see him staring out that window and we just start to see a tear start to come down out of his eye.
Awful.
maybe his pupils start to get a little bit wider and then we fade out to there to Strauss. I don't know if he's going to be at home or at work. It's 2019 now. It's current day.
Okay.
Maybe we'll see something pop up in the corner say current day. I forgot to do that with Jake's, so I will have to.
Gotcha.
But it's current day, and you get a text from an unknown number saying, we need to talk. And there is a photo of, it looks like a brick wall, and there is a silhouetted painting of a man, and it just says Strauss underneath it.
Oh, shit.
I'm assuming you probably...
Do they... Well, I guess if it's a text.
Yeah.
So, I'm thinking he's at work or something.
Okay.
He's just counting down a register or something.
Yeah.
And then gets this text, kind of takes a look at it. Takes him a second. And then, he sees, silhouetted person. And then when it reads Strauss, that triggers something.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of really quick. Make sure not to freak out or anything. Kind of turns to his employees like, hey, Jerry, can you finish counting down the shift here? I got to take this 1 second. And then, goes out back.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, we kind of went over the vague structure, but there's like a long row of shooting ranges that go out, and I'm thinking like into a hill, like
Probably.
a quarry area.
Yeah.
And the building, before all that. But I would think you go around the side where like you could still hear the gunfire.
Probably like the parking lot area.
Well, not the parking lot area, like around the back of the building where you can still hear gunfire pretty loud.
Mm-hmm.
And it's enough that like
Muffle.
To like if somebody's got to be right there to hear this conversation.
Gotcha. Okay.
So he dials up the number, waits for it to ring.
And you hear a familiar voice on the other end as Director West picks up and just is like, West here.
West. Didn't recognize the number.
Yeah, I had to get a new number recently. I'm assuming you got my text.
Yeah, what's this about?
She's
I don't like that name being, I don't like it being out there, but I assume this is a mission?
and she's kind of like a little bit of silent on one end. She's like, we could call it that, yeah. I think a mission would be the smartest way to go about it. Look, there's one of each of you in Ellensburg, what I sent you.
Each of us.
4 different spots around town. There's one for you, there's one for Reflux, there's one for Agnes, and there's one for Duffy. They just appeared. And I don't know why, but...
How long ago?
She's like last week or 2. I'm not as... I don't have the connections that I once did, so I'm kind of trying to piece things together here and there, but I want to get you guys together to get down there to see what's going on, because this is going to personally affect you, I think.
Smart. I think it will. Okay.
She's like,
have you already called the rest of them?
She's like, I've waiting to hear back from them. You're the second one I've heard back from. So once I hear back from them all, we'll meet up and I'll give you all the details I have.
Do you have a time frame?
I would say probably, hopefully in the next day or 2, we'll be able to get together, but I'll keep you informed with whatever I know.
All right. I'll make sure I wrap up some affairs here. I'll be ready when you need it.
Smart move. And she's like, and she's just like, hey, if we contact you, we never talked. I don't know if we can trust them anymore. And so I'm just trying to just be aware. I don't know if they have your best intentions, your best interests in hand.
All right.
And she just hangs up.
Oh, okay. Before I can do it. All right. Got it. Well, that's a little suspicious, but he'll take that under advisement.
All right. And so, yeah, I think let's get into Strauss's backstory now. So we pick up in Syria, 2011. Location redacted at the bottom of the screen. If we're bringing up a movie thing here, we'll continue that. There's a high-pitched ringing sound that's going through Levi's head as his eyes struggle to open. He's on the ground. He's against a wall. He's not quite sure. And he's blinking a few times as he's remembering what's going on here. Something threw him against a wall. Hard. It knocked him out. But for how long, he doesn't know. He's still kind of gathering himself in this instance. That's not important to him, though. The mission is what's important. And as the ringing slowly dies away, he can hear gunfire from further on. And he also hears screams. We see him bolt upright. He does a quick check of what he's got. Still got his gun strapped to him. Still got his vest on. There's some blood and whatnot. His helmet, goggles. Looks like the flashlight on the side of his helmet. It's taking a few hits, but kind of slapping it before it turns on. And we see there's probably like a little bit of like a dusty haze in front of him as you're hearing these sounds. These gunfires are shaking loose dust in this cave that he now realizes he's in. He sees there are bodies illuminated in the tunnel ahead of him from his light. At least a dozen. And from where he can hear the gunfire coming, these bodies are like a trail towards it. We see him raise his gun, and he slowly starts to, move with purpose, kind of just striding over the bodies. He's not registering it at this time, but as he's kind of passing over them, a lot of these bodies don't have exit wounds or even blood. A lot of these bodies have basically been turned completely, like, around. Like, you could look down and he passes by one and he sees, like, a face staring at him, but as he gets past it, he realizes the body was face down, as if something's, like, completely turned this thing's head around. And he gets to a point now, like, there are these faces. I think maybe it's now starting to eat into him as he's, like, passing more and more. He's seeing all of these faces. And he's trying to stop himself from, like, screaming. He's trying to keep it all inside because he doesn't want to let on anybody know that he's what's going on here. He needs to keep quiet because he's not quite sure what the situation is. And he needs to find his squad. That's the first thing in his head. That's when he hears a loud succession of booms that echo through the cavern that he would know come from grenades. And it's pretty tight quarters in here, right? We're in a cave that he can tell. Like, it's maybe at the most, like, 8 to 10 feet wide in some of these spaces, so it's not advisable to be throwing grenades in that small of a space. Slowly, though, the gunfire is getting louder. A single shot ricochets against a wall to his right, to see him hunker down on the corner. He waits a second, takes a quick peek around the corner to his left. His flashlight settles on Fisher, up ahead at the T-section facing left. Levi can't see what he's doing, but he's standing there completely upright, not aiming at anything. He's holding his gun relaxed in front of him, seemingly calm. Fisher fires off a single shot that digs into the cave wall too close to Levi's head for comfort.
Fisher, what the fuck are you doing?
Fisher doesn't respond, but he turns to Levi. His hands go loose and he drops his gun. He says something, but Levi can't hear it. It's too far away. Levi rounds the corner and hurries to a close distance. It's only as he gets closer that he realizes that the gunfire has stopped.
What's going on, Fisher? What is going on?
Nick doesn't respond. His face is emotionless, neutral. It takes a second, but Fisher's eyes seem to focus on Levi, like as he gets right up next to his face. Fisher's mouth begins to work slowly, but no words come out of it. Gone. They're gone. The words come out in a bizarre drone, but suddenly Nick's eyes go wide, just as his arms come up and start frantically grabbing at the pockets on Levi's vest for something. They're gone! Gone! God, keep it here! We gotta keep it here! They're gone! A sound from behind him, down the way Nick was looking, suddenly fills the silence left by the lack of gunfire. A heavy sound like something being dragged. Or maybe it's gurgling. Or maybe both. Whatever it is, something is moving in the dark from further in. Despite his flashlight, Levi can't see anything, but he starts to smell salt water. But you're in Syria. There's not a whole lot of seas around where you guys are at in central Syria.
Nick, stop! Hey, stop that! Where is everybody? What are you doing?
Levi tries to bat away Fisher's hands at the same time as he's trying to get a read on what's going on in the cavern. Gone. Oh, gone. I have to keep it here. We have to keep it here. Fisher manages to get what he's grabbing for. A grenade.
Hey, stop that!
Too late. Fisher pulls the pin out and tosses the grenade only a few feet away, on the ground against a wooden support beam for the cave.
Oh, shit! Run!
Levi grabs Fisher and drags him back to the tunnel. Fisher, he doesn't resist, but he moves so slowly he almost needs to be dragged. A few seconds later, there's a loud boom from behind them, followed by the sounds of a cave-in. Fisher had gotten lucky. From the sound of what would be coming was entirely closed off now. I think we see Levi kind of wake up from that. Maybe it's still a current day as he's kind of reliving. Do you think he dreams about this often? Like before he goes on a mission, does he always have this kind of recurring dream?
I think this would be the next time he wakes up after the phone call.
I think, that makes sense. Like, triggers it.
I mean, that's the last mission he went on before Delta Green found him.
And so I think you would get out of that. And maybe it's the same thing if you and Nick are in a medical hospital in Syria somewhere, and someone in military garb approaches you. So do you think Delta Green sent you on this mission, or do you think this is what you saw something there and they recruited you after?
I think he's recruited after.
Okay.
But this mission is, unbeknownst to him, a Delta Green mission.
Yeah. And so
his team was used as an asset, a pawn, like a cover. Yeah. Basically, if they had accomplished their mission first, nothing bad would have happened. Yeah. But something goes wrong, so.
And I think that is where we kind of see you're there with like a medical, or not, but like an army superior, like in a room, it's just the two of you. And he's kind of talking to you about the mission and trying to get the details of everything going on. And he's just like, okay, tell me all the details if you remember what you saw.
I didn't see much. We went in. We were told it was simple. Eliminate targets. Started a small firefight, and pretty soon after that, something hit me. My head hit the wall, and I don't know how much time I lost.
Okay.
After that is when I woke up. Don't know how much time had passed. I went forward, found bodies. So I found Fisher. And then he threw the grenade, and I pulled us out of there.
Okay, and they're just kind of, it's like, well, I think it's best that we talk to you about, you almost died for us, so we probably should give you the consideration of what we wanted to talk to you about and why you were actually there. You see him kind of like look over.
You weren't actually there.
He's kind of like looking at the things, making sure, like checking the mirrors and whatnot. And he gets up and like locks the door and comes back and sits down. And he proceeds to explain to you what really was going on there, why you guys were sent there. And I think a lot of it's foreign to you. You're understanding the words like cult, and they, like, you hear some vaguely other weird terms that I don't think you're able to really process at this point.
And I think at some point he'd be like, wait, stop. Just, only Fisher and I made it out.
You're the only ones alive that we can confirm.
Can you tell me we at least helped? Is this going to save people?
We believe so. We believe it will. We're going to have to go.
Did our mission save you?
And he's like, well, like I said, I hope so. We're going to have to go excavate and make sure that whatever was there is fully dead. But blowing the tunnel up was a smart move if it went that south, so we appreciate it.
And that's all I need.
And then, so there's like kind of a pause. It's like, if you're interested in this line of work again, we could pay you pretty well. He just slides over a card with a green triangle on it and a number. He's like, give us a call. If you've survived it this round, maybe you can do it again. And then he just gets up and walks out. And I think we probably fade out with like
looking at the card. Yeah.
Well, there we go. Well, thank you for giving us a little bit of background on Strauss.
Yeah.
We got your home scene, and we'll see Strauss in campaign 2.
We'll have more, probably more amnesiac moments. Black out more time.
Hey, what is up, everybody? Thank you so much for listening. Just wanted to get that out of the way real quick. I also just wanted to say, if you guys could maybe give us a rate or review or a follow on social media, that'd be fantastic. Basically, the higher rating or more reviews we have on those podcast platforms, the higher that algorithm will push us up, so more people will see. We are pretty casual about it, but we do want to grow more. And the Instagram is pretty much the main source of our social media. We're trying Hive, I think, but there's a lot of porn on there, so we don't really... It's kind of weird. But the Instagram is @ChaosEnginePod. So yeah, if you guys could just spread the word a little bit, that'd be fantastic. Tell your game group, tell your friends, if anybody would maybe even kind of be interested in it. It's worth giving us a shout. So thank you very much. See you.